right, people, I am so excited to do this live. I want to make sure that this is like, okay, sorry guys, but I'm going to do that. Okay, here we go. I want to make sure that's nice and that's clean and it looks good. Okay, guys, let's jump into this live. I am so excited to do this with you. It is going to be amazing. Branding for coaches. Okay, guys, I have been doing this for a long time. We're gonna say professionally for the last 4 years, specifically with coaches, but I would say easily 10 years that I've been doing online branding, and it has really changed the game, not just for me, but for my clients. I have created, videos, photography, websites, like an entire brand from like start to finish. And it has been an exciting experience. So today I am bringing you a free training that is going to dive in the exact thing that you need for your brand, that your target audience, your ideal clients are looking for specifically in your whole brand. Now, I'm going to give you the one thing I feel a lot of people miss out on when they are creating their brand. So a really big thing that you need to start with is 3 questions. Now, I've talked about this in the last few trainings. I'm doing 9 days of free trainings. That was starting on Saturday. We're going right till the end of the month. I'm going to teach you something different every day. It's for different people, but the next bunch of trainings are definitely going to be for you as well. And then I have an amazingly juicy offer that is going to it's going to be so awesome. So I'm really excited to dive into it. Okay, so here we go. So first of all, who are you? What do you do? And why you? This is a really big part of this process, right? Is that if you don't understand who you are, what your story is, what your brand mission and message is, this is like the foundation of your brand, right? So yeah, who are you? What's your story? What do you do? Okay, so you're a coach. What kind of coach are you? What are you all about? Like, this is important. Okay, we're moving on. And why you, right? So we're going to talk a little bit about why you and how you specifically stand out. But I want to go back to number 1. The biggest thing that I find coaches miss out on is they miss out on the big part of it, the foundation, right? The energy behind your brand and who you are. We don't stop to say, okay, who am I really? Right? Who am I really? Not just like, who am I in my brand and in my business? Who am I today? Right? And understanding who you are you confident? Do you have posture in what you offer? Do you feel worthy of receiving the business, the money, the success, right? And if you do, and if you don't, it's going to affect everything, right? So it's the energy. Do you feel deserving? Like all this when it comes to who you have been your entire life up until now. Right? The healing that you have done. Hey, Jamie, how are you? The healing that you have done, the work that you have done on yourself, it all culminates here, right? And your brand specifically is just the artistic, creative expression of all that you are, of your energy, of the healing work you've done, of your confidence, of your posture, of who you see yourself to be in the world. So not just for, the coaching business that you have, not just for what you offer. No, this is about you. And until you understand who you are, until you take yourself to a point where you have elevated, right? Where you're ascending to the point where you feel so strong in your confidence, so strong in what you offer, so strong in your posture that you can charge the rates that you've been dreaming of, right? Because you're like, okay, hell yeah, I'm good. Hell yeah, I can totally own this, right? You can totally own it. And you're like, this is what I'm about. What I'm about is a woman that, I'll tell you even my story if you don't know it. I've been on my own since I was 17 years old. My parents divorced. There was major trauma and stress, and I found myself on my own at a young age, still in high school, had to put myself through high school, college, bought my first house, not one, but two at the age of 26 on my own, got married, was married for 12 years, had 3 kids. But in that process, a lot of my becoming since 17 to today, there was so many kind of stages that we find we are in our life, right? You have those pivotal points in your life where you're like, oh shit, that's when that happened and I had to go through that. And then this happened and I had to go through that. Then this happened, I had to go through that. These things allow you to up level, right? Or not, right? Sometimes it takes you down. Sometimes we stay there and that's where we feel like we're not worthy. We don't feel the confidence, things fucking get us down. But when we can grow past these things and become a stronger person, we bring more to our coaching business. Like most of you are probably, if you're relationship coaches, because you have some wins relationship-wise. If you are a business coach, you have some business wins, you have personal wins, life coaching. Like obviously it's going to be a reflection of your own wins, and that's what's going to trickle onto your clients. But your story, your brand story is so important, and for you to understand that your brand story is the pillar, if not one of the most important pillars and the foundation of your brand. So until you fully can own that and really ground and feel into where it is that you stand today, how powerfully you stand today, the fact that you stand in your power, in your confidence, in your most powerful energy, and you bring that to all of you. Like guys, before I did this live, I was so excited to do this today. Like this was the one that I was so excited about. And my process today, I dropped off my kids to school, I came home, I chilled for an hour, had a conversation with my best friend, created some amazing content, and then I had a bath. And then it was an hour of like chill, allowing myself to brainstorm. I don't know about you guys, but in the bath, I get like the best ideas. So, I was brainstorming stuff. I was allowing things to move through me, and I was clearing and cleaning out my energy, right? So that I could be clean and clear for you. Because I knew what I was going to drop today was going to be a fire, right? It was going to be fire, it was gonna be hot, it was gonna be great, and it was gonna be from my heart. Because I love helping people, I love this stuff. This is like so exciting for me to help somebody to dive into who they are, to discover their power, and to express that in their brand powerfully. But we miss a lot of things along the way. So when we have recognized that, boom, who are we? We're a powerful fucking soul. What is our story? This is what I've been through in my life, and this is what I have gotten over. This is what I have grown through. This is what I can stand in and say, my process works. And let's hope you have a process. That's a whole other conversation for another time. But your process works, right? Your system works. Your energy obviously works. And this is what you are showing up in. And essentially your clients, they want to calibrate to your energy. They feel your energy and they're like, oh my God, I love this. I want a part of this. This is what they hire you for, right? Know you, like you, and trust you? Absolutely. But know you, like you, and trust you culminates into really calibrating to your energy and wanting to be in your world, right? I have had people message me in the past that were like, I just want to work with you. I don't know whether it's a digital course or whether it's one-on-one, or like, I just want to work with you. And I've had my clients that, we have a chat and they're like, okay, you know what? You have something that I need. You know something that I don't know. Like, let's do this together. And you know what? I need to elevate this. I need to elevate. And it's essentially, it's this energy. So if you don't show up powerfully in your energy of who you are, this is your foundation, not just your brand foundation. So until you get to this point that you are strong in the foundation of who you are, only then can you express that in your brand, right? Because I've had so many people that will come to me and they're like, oh my God, I want help with branding. And I love their video and I love their photography and I want it like this and I want it like this. And can you use captions and can you use this? Oh God, when we were in our marketing agency and we were creating this for clients, and it was like, I know that's great, and it's great to have inspiration, but let's do you. Let's do you. I just created a reel about this today on how like you should never ever copy someone else's brand. And I know you know that, but you're probably like calibrating again to someone else's brand that you really love, which is good energy wise, but for you to show up, you want to show up powerfully in you, because you're motherfucking amazing, right? You're amazing, and you want to shine in that energy and express it creatively in your brand. Your brand is just the creative expression of all the things we're going to talk about today. So unless you know who you are, and unless you can own that and embrace that powerfully, you cannot create a powerful and impactful brand, right? You know, I use the word iconic brand. I mean, it's a very sexy word, right? We want an iconic brand, but you know, that means something very different to people. Iconic might mean fame. Oh my God, I want everyone to like remember me and know me, and there's nothing wrong with that. But a brand that really lands is a brand that connects. And how do you connect? People will say, well, I want to be relatable with my client and with my content. I want this and da-da-da-da. I hear that word relatable a lot. More on that later. Don't worry so much about being relatable, just worry about being you. But be you in your highest energy, you in your highest growth form. That's why it's like, yes, invest in yourself. When you're investing in yourself, you're investing in your business, you're investing in your future, you're investing in meeting the most powerful version of yourself every single time. And it gets more and more powerful and more impactful to you and to everyone else, right? When you can do that. So the self-growth work is huge. Why I'm a life coach and a business coach. I've done each separately. Started out with spiritual life coaching, did specifically brand and business coaching when I owned iTribe Social, which was a marketing agency that I own and ran. And you know what? You need both. You need both to have a powerful and impactful brand. So we create the rest of our brand foundation from our story. We know our story. We know where we've been. We know where we stand today. From that, your mission is born. From that, your message is born. I have had so many people that are like, Mark, I don't know what my mission is. I don't know what my message is. And it can take time for you to create your brand message. This is your message to the masses. When you have your brand message, it's like, whew, you know, and it will change and it will grow as you change and grow. And that's okay, right? Like, you don't want it to be completely different. If it is, right? But essentially, you want your brand message to be such a pillar in not just your brand, but what you do and what you show up for, because your content should be made around that. Everyone should feel that, right? For me, I work with women on the rise, right? These women that are developing themselves. And I always talk about the fact that I help women access their full potential. And then I help them to express that powerfully in their brand so that they can own it and lead like a boss, right? So for me, that's really, really important. So they can bring that to their business, they can bring that to their life, and they can lead themselves first powerfully. But you cannot show up in a brand unless you can own these things about yourself. Then you get the impactful brand when you have powerful energy within yourself, okay? So understanding that that is your brand foundation. And if you're having a hard time coming up with what is my message, I don't know, what is my mission, then no one else can get it either. Right? Then you're just kind of making things up. And I've had people say, well, I want my brand to look like this and that. Like, your powerful, impactful brand is beyond graphic design. I'm going to say that again. Your powerful brand is beyond graphic design, okay? It can be gorgeous. It can have amazing fonts and colors, and like even the photography can be wowy, but it may not and likely will not land as powerfully as it could if you do not like really feel into the foundation of who you are, right? And that was something that I knew I was good at. I was really good at when we did our photography, videography, even when I work with a client right now. I do their creative packages sometimes. I like to be able to be there to direct a shoot. But when I was doing that, it was like, that was a good thing. You know, I was able to kind of take their essence and bring that into their photos, right? And that's what you want when you're looking for a photographer and you're doing a professional branding shoots. You want someone that can access sort of like the essence of who you are, not just the pretty picture that's like, hi, or the pretty picture that's like, ooh. Those are great shots. I have shots like that. But my energy is so aligned before I do a shoot, and I know what kind of vibe I want to put out there. When your energy is aligned, people are going to feel that within your business and within your brand, right? Your mission is really about your vision, right? Like, what is your biggest, most grandest vision for what you're trying to do here, right? Yep, when we think of branding, we usually, we do think of design first, right? And Jamie, your brand is so beautiful. I love your brand and I love your vibe. And that's exactly what we think of. And we think like, oh God, that person was so successful. Oh God, look at her feed. It's so beautiful. And look at her pictures. They're so beautiful and this and that. If it's so beautiful and they are successful, trust me, they did not start looking like that. I guarantee you nobody at the beginning started looking like that, right? One of my mentors, Melanie Ann Laird, I just thought of her right now as I was thinking, her feed, if you know her, like her feed is very curated. It has a specific look to all of her photography. Now she loves photography. She loves that vibe. She loves that look. But because her energy and her purpose and their whole energy behind it and vibe is powerful, right? This isn't just someone that has a really pretty curated feed. Someone that's worked on themselves, understands their shit, knows their shit, right? And is aligned with it and has that posture there. Right? If anybody has ever told you before, work harder on yourself than you do on your business. Oh, when I remember when I was in network marketing, I was like, what do you mean? Because network marketing was such a doing type of business, right? I was like, but I gotta do shit and I gotta prospect and I gotta follow up and, but in a coaching business, oh my God, it has never been more powerful to absolutely work on myself more than I work on my business. And Jamie and I were actually just having this conversation the other night, is putting our energy first, which is such a big thing, right? Like shit can throw you out of alignment. Triggers, family, people, situations, they're going to happen all the time. But you, powerful woman, you've been working on your shit, right? You've been working on your triggers. You've been working on yourself. You've been working on, maybe even like the victimhood that we can be in sometimes when we've been through trauma, we've been through shit. God knows I have. And when we're working on that chip we have on our shoulder, when we're working on the shit that triggers us, you become so like shatterproof, so bulletproof, right? Where you're like, I can hold the energy for that, right? So all these things are so important when it comes to your brand, right? And I'm talking about creating an impactful brand that connects. That's what I'm talking about here, right? You want to have a beautiful brand just that looks beautiful but doesn't land and doesn't necessarily connect or only goes so far. Yeah, go to a graphic designer. But the point is that when I work with a client and we do a branding exercise, like reinvention, and this is the juicy offer I'm going to give you later. I'm so excited. You guys have probably heard me talk about reinvention, and reinvention is exactly that. It is I don't call it just branding. This is like the life coaching, the business coaching, the branding, we dive into this, right? This juicy stuff, and we create fucking powerful brand, but you are owning your power at the same time. Because I've done it so many times in my marketing agency. We create fucking amazing brand videos and the photography and the everything, and we help them even the whole thing. I help them with their sales funnel and their this and their that and their mission and their message and imagery, whatever. And at the end of it, they're like overwhelmed. They're like, oh shit, like, oh God, I don't know if I can like I can grow into that. It's overwhelming, right? It's overwhelming, right? So many of my clients actually would coach with me too, because they were like, oh man, I need to feel both of this. So this is something that we do in reinvention. But guys, I have put together like a really, really, really delicious offer for you guys, which I will go into in a little bit. But little hint, I've created a group program out of that is literally 1/10 of the price. So I'm excited, super, super excited about that. But let's dive into a little bit more. So who are you, what do you do, and why you, right? So we've talked about the who are you and why that is so important, how that goes into and trickles into your brand message and your brand mission. Now it's like, shit, now I know what wakes me up in the morning. Now I know why I do this, besides the fact that I want to make 6 figures in a month or whatever it is that drives you, right? So you get into that and then you're like, okay, so what is it that I do? Once we understand our foundation, it starts to tweak that a little bit. We're like, well, I thought that I, was a relationship coach that worked with, millennials to find their soulmate. But now I realize, like, shit, it took me a really long time to find my soulmate, and I did, but I am so connected to this part of my journey. Maybe this part of my journey created the biggest impact on my life. Maybe, whatever it could be. And you realize that, what? Fuck, I'm good at that. I kind of like, there's all sorts of parts of our life and we're like, oh, wow, yes. So it might actually change, maybe not even what you do, but the way that you do it, right? So when we have that foundation, it changes the way possibly. It tweaks even the how, right? So we get clearer with what it is that we do and how we do it differently. Now, guys, this is the key. This slides right into the next question of why you. If you don't know what I called your UVP or your unique value proposition, guys, if you don't understand what your zone of genius is, you're going to get worried about competition. You're going to get stressed and say, oh shit, she's doing it and I can't. And how come she's this and how come she's that? And it's not like I don't get that, right? I'm the human too. But I try to focus in my soul's mission and listen to my soul that says, hello, you were gifted with something special that nobody else is. And if you're in a place where you're like, I don't actually know what that is, keep doing the work. Keep doing the work. I really truly feel that a part of our mission here on earth is to recognize what our purpose is, and it's the journey of recognizing that it, to me, has been like, it's been amazing, right? I know for me, my zone of genius is this. It comes easy to me. It flows. As you can see, I'm super excited about it. And I love this stuff. I'm good at it. I love it. And it feeds my soul. We can be in that zone of excellence, right? We're like really good. I was really good at network marketing. I was like, I got the cars and I got the trips and like retired from my job. And like, I did all the things there. It was like, whoa, 10 years there. It was amazing. I built a team. It was like amazing, amazing. But I was fucking tired. I was tired. I was rarely happy. And I worked more than I ever did in my life, right? I was training these new teams and helping and getting on 3-way calls. And I love that. But when I gave myself the permission to say, this is amazing, but for me, now I'm growing further. I'm recognizing bigger gifts. I'm recognizing that there's a part of me that I love here, and it was the coaching and it was the mentoring, right? It was the stuff where I was like, oh man, this is good. Ooh, this is good. I love that. I love this. So when we can recognize what we are naturally good at, instead of like fighting the freaking flow, right? Raise your hand if you fight the freaking flow. You've been trying so hard at this and you're like, why isn't this working? I swear, no, I hired coaches and I took the courses and it's not working. Well, it's not that doesn't work, but it probably works for them, right? And people that are maybe like, I don't know, in their human design or, that are like them or I don't know what. But at the end of the day, it's great that it works for you, but make sure it's going to work for other people, right? Like that's a big part of it. So for me, when I started to recognize that not only this shit is my jam, but one of my biggest gifts was recognizing and seeing it in others. And that's definitely my human design, being a projector. I'm a 6'2". So for me, it was like, I can see it in other people. I just have to learn how to harness that and coach in that way. But that is like a gift of mine. I am able to work with somebody and go, oh shit, did you recognize that you're actually good at this, and this? How does that feel? And they're like, shit, yeah. I'm like, you know what? Why don't we create this, and this? And everything just like pieces together, right? And you're like, oh my God, yes, this feels good. Holy shit, I can get paid for that? Oh my God, wow. When you're functioning in your zone of genius, not only do things come easier to you, you feel good about it, you feel excited about it, you feel totally like lit up about it, but you also are recognizing that this is something that I do that no one else does like this. So when you can really lead in your unique value proposition, that becomes your unique selling feature, and you kind of recognize this is your what we call POD, or your point of difference, right? Like this is your point of difference. It's the mentors you've worked with, it's, you know, where you are today, your personal growth, it's the testimonials of clients that you've worked with, everything that you've done today. And if you're a brand new coach and you're like, well, I don't really have any client testimonials, guess what? You are your big testimonial. And the more and more that you land in that and that you show up in that, and yes, it's going to take some vulnerability. Yes, it's going to take you like showing up again and again, but you know what happens. I am not a new coach. For me, I've been coaching for a long time. I've had massive success, but for me, COVID happened and it like trashed my marketing agency. It was like, oh my God. Hundreds of thousands of dollars. Oh my God. Now, I was still coaching, but I had not been on my online brand and I had not been posting on social media regularly. I was fucking busy working, right? So once I like made the decision that, you know what, this really is my zone of genius. Like I'm really good at this in the marketing agency, but even this is even higher into that zone, was when like just under a year ago, I was like, okay, made the decision. And in January, I was like, okay, here we go, full force. Now, branding myself all over again and doing this process, even though I had that knowledge, it's one thing to do it for other people. When you go to do it in yourself, the first thing that stuck out for me was the first thing that we talked about here, was I was like, oh, fuck. I've been going through a divorce the last 3.5 years. Oh my God, my business just like completely like, oh, I can't even say it fully tanked. It was like closed for 6 months because we were in lockdown, and we started getting going again. And once we started momentum again, I was like, oh God. Now, granted, I hadn't fully rehired my entire team back, but just feeling it, I was like, oh God, no. Oh God, no. I was stressing about client deadlines, and it was just like, oh, fuck no, right? So once I made that decision, it was like, okay, who am I today? Who am I? And I don't think I've spent more on coaching than I have in the last year on mentors, right? Like there was like Amanda Francis and Melody Ann Lair, and right now it's been For the Wild Femmes with Jacqueline, Angaret Sage. Like I know I'm missing so many people. Ashay Sandara. Like there's been so many people that I have worked with, and I've loved it. I've loved it, loved it, loved it. And I like grew, and everything started to grow so fast. And it was like showing up in this energy has been so powerful for me and for my brand. Everything else just kind of came together, right? So I cannot stress more that don't forget, understanding who you are is more important than anything else, and that's how you're gonna land a really impactful brand. If you're kind of like, oh my God, I need work on that, triggers and all sorts of shit are getting in the way of my alignment, my power, I put together the most amazing course for that, which is called Feminine Foundations. You can hop over to the link in my bio and you can access that right now. So that will help you to really kind of stand into the truth of who you are and access that full potential and that full power. So that is like a really, really big and amazing place to start. If you're kind of ready, like, and you're saying, okay, this is sounding good, Michelle, like I want to get into this, like branding, getting to know myself, showing up impactfully. I want to know what my UVP is. I want to know what my POD is. I want to know all these things. I want to work on it. Reinvention is for you. Now, that's in the link in bio. And that is for the one-on-one offer. Now that's $8,888, guys, and that is amazing. We have like 4 2-hour calls. You get your own brand guide, which I customize for you. But in the group offer, which I literally just came up with like 2 days ago, we haven't even like added to the sales page, that is $888, okay? $888 for that. And for a limited time, I'm going to also include 1 day a week private Voxer, okay? Which actually costs $888. So it is like the deal of a lifetime. I am offering that through these 9 days of help or help in your business and branding that I'm showing up doing these lives every single day. So it's going to be available until the 31st. I'm so excited for you guys to access that. And just send me a DM if you want. I don't even have the sales page like finished to add in the group session. We'll start probably mid-November. And by January 1st, you're going to have a fucking amazing, powerful brand. And not only will you have a powerful, impactful brand, but you will have totally aligned with your full potential, your power, your energy, the whole thing. And now you're functioning at like, you might be functioning right now at 70%, 30%, 20%. And if you're like me, sometimes it's like that, right? Depending on your energy, but the more powerful that you become, you are functioning at that higher level, like 90%, 80%, 100%, 120%. Holy shits, right? That's where it's like, no one's gonna stop you. No bad day's gonna stop you. No engagement's gonna stop you. There's no like anything, no algorithm shit's gonna stop you, nothing, right? There's moments where I'm like, oh, my story views are so low, what the fuck, right? And then I'm like, well, nothing's gonna stop me. It's gonna happen no matter what. It's happening, right? When you know and you trust yourself so implicitly, people feel that. You can't fake that shit. You cannot fake that shit, right? So in knowing that, you've got to live it true. You got to live it powerfully. And we talk about authenticity all the time. It's like a catchword. Everyone says authenticity, but are you being authentic? Because being your authentic self means fully being you. But if we don't know who we are and we're faking it before we make it, or we're trying so hard that we're forgetting that we're gifted. Like you are gifted. You are gifted. You're perfection. You have everything you need right now to run a multi-million-dollar brand, right? You do. So when you're receiving coaching for someone else, they're just helping you to uncover what's already there. They're helping you to recognize that and feel into it, to heal into it. I love to call that healing into it, right? Because you're working through the shit that comes up. So when you recognize that the shit that comes up is actually bringing you closer to your goal, bringing you closer to that income goal, that personal goal, that confidence goal, whatever, huge, right? Like I get so excited to do these. Like had this inspiration of like, fuck, I'm going to do a live every day. I'm going to teach something every day. And I'm not good at holding back. Like I tell it all. Like I want to help, right? If you have questions, drop them in. I will help you. I will answer your questions. Or if you have a specific situation, send me a DM and I am happy to help you and answer your questions. If you have questions about reinvention or feminine foundations or working with me, one-on-one or in Voxer, we can talk about that. But going on from what we've discussed here is understanding all these main things is that you've got your foundation, your brand foundation, understanding your story, your mission, your message. We started to get into what is our unique value proposition? What's our zone of genius that we function in, that we do, that no one else does this way? No one else does. And when people recognize that in you, that you are the only option for them, right? And if you are not the option, that's okay. I never sell people. I don't sell them. If they have questions, I answer the questions and I help them to make a decision whether it's me or not, because the truth is you never want to sell anyone into your courses or especially your one-on-one. That is for sure. I never sell on that because it's meant to, if we are aligned and we connect and it's right, then great. You never want to talk somebody into working with you because if they're not the right person, trust me, it's not going to be good for you either. Right? So in order to be authentic and connect, we connect with these things that we just discussed. Now, last up, how do we know? Thank you so much, hon. Thank you so much, Jamie. How do we know what our content is, right? How do we know what our content is? Because now we're like, okay, girl, I understand. I'm feeling it. I know who I am. Now, what are you going to post, right? When you're like, okay, I know I got to post some stuff and I want to go do some stuff. Like we talked about that earlier, that creative, artistic expression, that is your brand. That is your brand, how you show up. This is my brand, how I speak, how I talk, my energy right now. You see a little, this excitement, this energy, this vibe. this blissful vibe, like this is it. This is what I live for. And this is what you get when you're in my world, right? So think about that. What do people get when they're in your world? What do you provide for them? So when we understand that, we start to think about our brand pillars, right? Like, what are your content pillars? Like, what are you going to post about? Well, you want them to know, what are they going to get from you? What are they going to get from being in your world? And they want to get to know you too. So what things matter to you, right? Like, do you have an amazing fucking relationship? You're going to see, if you look on my Instagram, you're going to see pictures of me and Jonathan, and we'll talk about our story together and how we met and our love and whatever. Yes, because it's a miracle. It's an amazing thing, and it's a very big thing in my life, and I like to share that with people because I think it's important, and it really affects my energy and my vibe, and it's added to my life, right? Does that have anything to do with, branding and business and whatever? No, not all the time, and I don't post it all the time, but I post it when I feel it, right? And I recognize, since that is an important part of my life, and it adds to my energy and adds to who I am, and it's certainly helped my personal growth, like big time, that's something I post about. And that is something that is like a content pillar for me. I know that, like, that is something I'm going to post about. I like to post about my growth. I'm going to post about my story. If you have any content pillar you're going to think about, one of them should be your story. Okay? And your story is probably, there's many stories to tell, right? Like this part in your life, that part in your life, this transition, that challenge, just what happened yesterday. All of it is a part of your story, because like I said, if you don't have any client testimonials, you are the testimonial. Whether you have client testimonials or not, you are it. And as you're growing and you're spiraling upwards, people, they want that from you. They want to feel like, what am I going to get in her world? What is she about? What is her beliefs about? What is her philosophies about? And you share that. So one of your brand pillars should always be your story. And I'm always going to tell that to my clients. Make sure, you're telling your story. So it allows you to be vulnerable, and it allows you to let them in, right? Because yes, you're an expert in what you do, but you're a person, right? So we talked about that word relatable early. Relatable is you don't have to try to be relatable, okay? Don't try to be relatable. You know what I mean? If you're fucking gorgeous, don't downplay your look so that you look like the girl next door because you want to be relatable, right? Like, I don't know, like some people, I've had clients that want to wear like gold sequins on photo shoots, and their makeup is like, wow. And they're like, and it's like, I don't know if that's really, it makes sense for your brand, because your brand was into this and this and this, right? So again, like when we go and take the look of our brand and then we don't those are always the clients that are in transition, right? They're like not fully in alignment with their foundation, right? So when you're aligned with your foundation, what you bring up in your brand is going to be totally cohesive, and they're going to feel that. You don't have to worry about cohesiveness so much in your brand when you are aligned in the foundation. I keep talking about it, guys, because it's really, really important. Right? So then you're going to understand what your content pillars are when you understand that, like, well, what am I about? What do I want in my life? Like for me, it was being in love with life. That's important to me, to be feeling that blissful, like elevated, delicious feeling. And I cultivate that in my life all the time. So sometimes it's taking a bath. Sometimes it's like, making my favorite, tea. This is like a pumpkin spice chai tea. So good. But it's just the little moments of bliss add to the big moments of bliss, right? But that's something that's really important for me. It's really important to me. When I feed that part of me, the rest of it just flows beautifully. I'm a better mother. I can deal with like losing my shit, and I don't do it as often when I'm feeding myself and feeding my energy and making sure that that is first. That's a really, really big thing, right? So when we understand what is important to us, making us the most important and most energetically aligned. For me, it was like being in love with my partner, with my life, with my business. Like these were things that were so important. And I love helping people with this stuff. I love helping women to access their full potential. I love that, and standing in their power and expressing it powerfully online in their brand, right? Like you see how we talked about message, but like I just keep saying it because like that's something that like it just flows out of me. It's not like a put together perfect message that's like I do this for these people so that they do this. Like it's like, yep, we know, or maybe you don't know. That's how you put together your brand message. Great. But you have to be in alignment with it, like right in your heart, right? Like don't get so caught up on your copy. Make sure it makes sense to you and you fucking feel it deeply. Because when you feel it deeply, you're not going to have to worry so much about the way your brand looks, because when your brand is in alignment with that, your visuals will reflect how you feel. Do you know what I'm saying? Like there was a certain kind of look to my visuals. I'm like, I love this. I love this. And it ended up, see, if you look in my Instagram, the last, I don't know how many posts, it was very beachy. And that was a photo shoot that I did in the summer. I'm like, I love that. I love that. And the next few photo shoots, and I'm like, well, it's not going to look like that, but damn, like, I love this vibe and I want it to feel like that. No matter what, I want it to feel cozy and good and like, I don't even know if I'm going to say sexy, but it's like this feminine, energy, right? There's to it. It's a powerful, sensual kind of energy. And I think that like for me, that was something that really brought my energy out and I really felt aligned with. That was really important for me. So your content pillars are a big one. So if you have a, pen and paper, like write that down right now. Like, what do I care about? Like, what do I feel is important in the energy that I bring out? And it's important for me, and an energy that I want my clients to feel, right? Like feeling this blissful, elevated feeling and happiness. I haven't even used the word happiness. Happiness to me is the highest form of success. That's to me, right? And I know I will attract people that maybe they're even searching for that, right? So to me, you're rarely going to hear me talk about like the 5 figures, the 6 figures, the 7 figures, hitting this, hitting that. I am like, trust me, I am about the numbers, but the numbers don't lead me as much as how much that I want to feel a certain way. You know what I mean? And what's so liberating about that is when you lead with how you want to feel, you can feel that right fucking now, right? You might be like, oh, I want to make $1 million a month. Oh my God, that's like crazy. I'm going to do it. Well, you're going to do it. It might take you 5 years to get there, or whoever knows how long it's going to take you to get there. But when you're only leading with that as your goal, you can really kind of lose momentum, right? You can lose your motivation. You're like, oh, fuck, I didn't make anything this month. Oh my God. But when we lead with the energy of how we want to feel, right? We can make that happen right now. And you can continue to make that happen. And why is this important when we're talking about content pillars? Because this is about how you want to feel. If people are in your life and in your business and they're working with you, they're going to get that vibe too. Fuck, who doesn't want to be happier, right? Who doesn't want to feel that feeling of bliss? You work with me, that's going to be a big part. I don't want you to work your ass off to get to these big numbers and hit this and do that and okay, I'm going to do this and oh my God, I'm going to do this and blah, 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 blah. Are you happy? Do you like it? Does it feel good to you? Because you know what? Like you can have a whole fucking list of goals and you can go to like a conference and get hyped up. But at the end of the day, who are you at the end of the day, right? So understanding that you want to have maybe about 3 to 4 content pillars so you know what you're going to post about. So that when you see somebody create an amazing reel and you're like, damn, I should do that. That's so good. Well, don't copy them. Ask yourself, does this make sense? Could I make this fit when I think of my content pillars, right? Does this make sense for my brand? Does it make sense for my brand? Because remember, guys, your brand is just the creative expression of you, right? Of you. And I'm talking to you coaches because we are all personal brands, right? Even when I'm working with brands that are product-based, your energy personally does trickle into your brand for sure. But when we are working with ourselves, we are personal brands, right? So you're a personal brand, like you are your brand. They are buying you, right? If you don't have your shit together and you're trying to like fake it before you make it or create a really pretty brand and you're wondering why shit isn't coming together, there's a resistance and there's a misalignment there, right? And it's going to be in you and it's in your brand, right? Like you might be like, well, I want to work with these kind of people. What is your connection to those people, that target market that you've chosen, right? For me and for you, it should be a perfect reflection of you. Because when it's a perfect reflection of you, not only do you know that target market so well, because you have lived it. You have lived it and you know what they want and you know what they need. And I call that like the love affair. You'll see that when you go to link in bio, click on reinvention, and you'll see that there. And one of the things is like, it's like a love affair with your target market. It's a love affair. These are your people, right? Like they need you as much as you need them. Like they see you and they connect to your story. They connect what you've been through, right? And they don't connect with necessarily the pain points that you talk about, but they connect with the psychographics that you're talking about, right? They connect with the energy, the feeling behind what you've been through. Talk about that. Talk about the feeling, what it's been like to go through the things, what it feels like to now be here, right? What are they going to get from working with you, right? This is the kind of stuff when you're talking about your content that when you're really aligned with it all, then your copy, what you should say, how you should say it, what you should be posting, this all comes together and it's aligned, right? When people are like, should I do a podcast? Should I do TikTok? Should I do Reels? Should I do all this stuff? It's like, I don't know. And it's like, you should know though. You should know. Because when you know yourself and you know what you care about, right? The rest of it just falls into place, right? So I'm just so excited to do this with you guys. And, drop into the comments, whether you've been watching on replay or whether you're watching it live, let me know where you're joining us from. And you know what? I'm so excited for you guys to show up in this way powerfully and authentically. And there's going to be some really juicy content that I'm going to share. Every day I'm going live until the 31st. So it's going to be great. So definitely, I'm going to post a schedule actually, where you're going to see like what topic is for what day and what time. Like that would have been great to do, but I'm going to tell you, when I get inspiration on something, I just fucking act on it. I'm like, tomorrow, this is what I'm doing. I need to do training on this. So sometimes it's not so planned in advance, but when I know my energy is behind it, I just fucking do it. I don't ask a question. I just do it. And no, I am not a sacral authority. I should be. I'm actually a sounding board authority, but I was just talking about human design, if you know about human design, but yeah, like that's a really, really big part of things for me. So I get so excited doing trainings. I've done millions of trainings over the last probably 10 to 12 years, coming from that network marketing background and having a team of over 1,300. That was like a big, big thing. So I love doing trainings and I love to be able to bring you more that will help you to succeed. So I hope today really helped you. And if you're feeling like you want to go deeper, if you're like, fuck, you know what? Yes, I want to like create a totally impactful brand and I'm not really sure what my zone of genius is. I think I know, but I don't know how to express it into my content. I don't know, like, how do I stand out? We dive into that competitive analysis and we kind of look and say like, what are the top 5 brands doing in your kind of circle? And let's see, like, now that we know what they're doing, now we know what your unique value proposition is, let's position you in a way that you can feel like nobody can fucking like compare with you. Like we do all the masculine, we do all the feminine. And I think that for a branding like offer, what's so magical about this is like what we do together really lands, because it really lands for you. And until it lands for you, it's not going to land for them, right? Your beloved, your people that you are doing all of this for. So what we include with this, now working one-on-one with me in Reinvention, like I mentioned before, it's $8,888, guys. I am very upfront with my rates and my prices. If you hop on the link in bio, click on Reinvention and you will see there's like a payment plan there, or you can do pay in full, whatever. But now I am including the group version of Reinvention. Now I am going to cap this at 10 women. When we go over that, I will just start another group. But I really want you to be able to benefit from this. So just understand that if you're like, fuck, I want to do the one-on-one, but I don't know if I'm fully there yet, maybe financially the budget might be too big, or you're kind of like, I feel like in a group, like I'm kind of there, whatever it might be. You can also go from group and upgrade into the one-on-one if you feel that that is, and we can always talk about that. But yeah, so the nice thing about that is it is $888, guys, instead of $8,888 when we do the group, right? Or there's 3 payments of $333. So I have that payment plan, or you can pay in full on the $888 for the group reinvention. And the juicy part is I am offering you guys an extra with this, which is one-on-one private Voxer with me 1 day a week. We pick one day and we're like, okay, this is the day. And we kind of dive into the one-on-one stuff that you need. Voxer has been one of the most powerful containers for my growth personally, and I love doing it with my clients. So that is something that I am offering with group reinvention. Now guys, this, which is what I call mini Voxer, is $888. So you're essentially getting the Voxer, that extra support for free. This is going to be on until I decide. I'm feeling like it'll probably maybe be until the end of the month, but I don't know. Again, I really kind of go with what I feel. By no means am I am not about fear-based selling. I'm not here to make you feel like, shit, oh God, I gotta do it today, or blah, 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 right? But the truth is I can only do so much Voxer with people. So it can't be unlimited. So likely it will be just for that first 10 people. And that's where I'm gonna like cut it off. If that does include the 1 day a week. So that's a mini Voxer. And that is included in the group reinvention. Guys, I'm so excited for you guys to like show up more powerfully, dive in deeper to who you are and access that full potential. Because I really believe no matter what level we're at, there's always more. There's always more, and it's fucking magical. It's amazing, right? So I'm so excited to be a facilitator and an integral part of that. Like, that is exciting for me. I know that you got something from this training, but I do. I hope that you got something from this training. Send me a DM, tell me, what you got from it. I'd love to hear from you guys. I'd love to connect with you. If you have any questions at all about the reinvention group program, the one-on-one program, we can totally talk about that. Or if you're kind of like, fuck, I'm really stuck on like, I really want to get to know myself deeper. I want to just fully step into my power before I even worry about my brand. Feminine Foundations is my digital course. It is $999 or 3 payments of $370. And it is like, it is so great. That is also fucking powerful. We work on triggers, your fear. We get clarity with what you really want. Like, we go into all of it. We talk about alignment. We talk about money. We talk about your relationship with the shit that bothers you and holds you back from getting to this point, right? So that is a delicious and amazing course. That's kind of where people start kind of in my world. But if you're ready to dive into your branding and impact and get those sales and get that attraction marketing going, I don't even want to talk about attraction marketing. I want to talk about just you landing in your energy and showing up in that powerfully online. Then let's do it together. So I'm so excited. Thank you so much, guys, for joining me today. And I will see you tomorrow as we dive into more. It's going to be great. So see you then.